the rest of you peoples. I am Oscar Hasselhoff, the German Master of Defense. Thank you, you are too kind. I have come before you today to host the discussion panel of Full Steel Combat. This is a time where you can meet the knights, ask them questions about knighthood, about tactics of battle, about weapons, about armor, about anything that comes to your mind. Now, we will start with the demonstration. The first question I will start, what is Full Steel Combat?
So, Full Steel Combat is the modern recreation of a medieval sport known as boohurt. Boohurt's a funny word. So it comes from the Old English French word meaning to wallop. So if you've seen our shows, that's exactly what we do to each other, is wallop the crap out of each other. When the knights weren't at war, they would do tournaments to keep up their skills and to see who was the best knight. So we've brought that sport to the modern age. We do it at conventions, breweries, festivals all across the country. And to give you guys a little example of what you would see at one of our tournament shows, Grant the Knight and myself are going to give you a quick one round of a duel so that if you're not familiar with us, you have a little bit of an idea of what you can catch at our fight shows there.
Knights, are we met? Very good. Face your opponent. Salute! En garde und lay on! Joshua is down. 3 cheers for Sir Grant. Hip hip! Hip hip! Hip hip! And now, are there any questions from the crowd? If you have a question at any time during this panel, raise your hand above your head and we will come to you. Any questions for the knights? If not, we will meet the knights. You, the little fellow on the end, will you stand up, please? This is the mighty Sir Gregor. He has won a gold medal in 2 armored fighting world championships, one in Spain and one in Mexico. He has won for the United States. So, what do you do in the real world when you are not a knight?
I'm an engineer.
Engineer, that's good. So, what is your name?
Well, I'm Nicholas, but I go by Sir Gregor because Sir Nicholas sounds like I'm here to deliver presents. I'm here to deliver injuries.
There you go. He's a very jolly man. And?
My name is Sir Red, but I go by Joshua outside of this sport. I'm a school teacher. That's what I do for a living.
All his children strangely behave when he walks in the room.
I'm Michael. I'm a welder.
That's how you came about your armor, yeah? There you go.
I'm Sir Brent. I've been around a few years. I'm actually a retired Army officer, retired federal agent, and currently I work for LYB.
My name is Tim, or Timmy, as I sometimes go by. Timmy! I'm a welder by trade, and I've been in the sport for about 2 years, about 40 years.
Hello everyone, my name is Sir Alex, otherwise known as that guy with the gold face helmet. otherwise known as Sir Butthead by some people, Oscar. Been doing this for 3 years, and I am a peace officer when I'm not doing this.
I am Sir Victor. I was on ESPN. Thank you, Grant. And outside of this, I either act, I do music, and I'm an artisanal juice extractor.
Hey everyone, I'm Andy. I'm pretty new to the sport. Only been doing this about maybe 6 months. Outside of, I guess in the real world, I'm an engineer. I'm Andrew. I've been doing this for about 4.5 years. Outside of this, I do emergency utility inspection. Yeah.
Hi, my name's Heath. I've been here for about a year. I work in finance.
Finance is a region in Bolivia. Is that? Ah, yes. So, Grant, what do you do for a living?
I'm an inventory manager. Father of 3, wife. I've been doing this about a little over 4.5 years now.
Very good. You have met the knights. Do you have any questions for me?
So, and I'm Joshua. I founded Full Steel Combat in 2019. My day job is a truck dispatcher. So, as you guys have heard, people from all different backgrounds do this sport. Literally anyone can do it. Not all of us grew up as athletes. Some of us only work out when this armor is on. Others train to do it full time and go win tournaments like Sir Gregor over there. So, if you have any questions on how to get involved, now is the time to ask. We can point you in the right direction.
Yes, Full Steel Combat will be happy to give you resources to put you on the path to hitting someone special to you today. Serious inquiries only, please. But do we have any questions from the crowd?
Yes, young lady would like to know if the weapons are real.
Are the weapons real? Yes, they are. They are very real. If you would tap Sir Joshua. As you see, they break armor, they break bones, they break people. The only difference is the weapons they use in these tournaments are blunted. They do not have a cutting edge, and the stabbing points are rounded off. Stabbing strikes are not allowed. Only blunt force trauma. Does anyone else have a question for the knights? They don't. They get hurt all the time. Yesterday we had a knight break a leg. He is in surgery today, but doing fine. He is more angry at not being here to fight than he is about being injured.
So we do have a lot of safety precautions with what we wear under our armor. We have padded stuff under armor, some more stronger, like some people wear motorcycle armor and different things under it too. A lot of us though, it's just padding, but we do have different precautions to take to stay safe as we can.
As far as safety goes as well, all of our helmets are required to have modern concussion impact foam inside of them as well. So we do our absolute best to minimize the risks, but as it is a combat sport, accidents do happen.
Yes, they have broken armor before, broken helmets, all types of things. Aha.
Josh, would you face the audience, please? So, what we have here on the back of Josh's helmet, this is called a Simon strap, named for Simon Ward, one of the founders of the sport. It's named after him because we didn't have those originally. His helmet came off in the middle of fights, and an axe came in about 3 seconds later. Now we wear these as mandatory, so it doesn't happen in the future. We learn from our mistakes, eventually.
There's some that have a strap in the front to keep the helmet on, and also now it is required for the strap to be in the back, the famous Simon strap. Luckily, the man was not killed, and he remains a champion today, being one of the founders of this sport, Simon Warwick. A man wants to know how they learned to fight or how they got started to learn to fight. I would say that happened when they had brothers and sisters. When they were children, they would pick up things and beat each other with them. But from there, you get into martial arts and things like that and start learning. If you are in the liking of the medieval period or the Renaissance period, you start to study the European fighting styles. And that is what a lot of their fighting is based upon.
So how I used to learn, and I'm going to be a little bit of a fanboy right now, was this man right here. He does classes, or has in the past done classes at festivals, where he teaches the School of Sword. And seeing him in my younger days before I ever got into this was one of the things that actually inspired me to get into combat. So I just like to give a round of applause to Oscar Hasselhoff here for helping get this going.
Yes, Oscar Hasselhoff is an enabler. I've enabled violence for many decades now. Yes?
How much does the armor weigh?
There's a question. How much does the armor weigh? An average suit of armor.
It's not average, but he weighs 500 in armor. Yeah. Usually it's about 80 to 100 pounds. It depends on the type of steel you use. We use titanium, spring steel. Some are slightly weaker, but we require more thickness to keep us protected. Usually it's about 100 pounds with the helmet.
Yes, it is true, Sir Gregor, the 7-foot knight, weighs 500 pounds in his armor, but 100 pounds of that are bad intentions. If you face him in combat, be very, very wary of him. And he just wants to give people hugs with weapons. Yes. So, are there any other questions for our knights?
One gentleman would like to know how the Knights started and how much they invested in getting started in the sport. And then another gentleman wants to know if the Knights use a weapon, can he get another one?
Okay. Now, basically the fellow just asked how much does it take to get started in this, about how much would you invest in starting in this?
So, the cost of armor can vary wildly, depending on if you're buying used gear or having it completely custom made for you. It's not going to fit correctly most of the time unless it's custom made for you, but you can get by with picking up used equipment. My whole outfit is pieced together over the years. I've replaced things. I'm probably well over 5,000, but you can get started for around 2,500. This may be a good one to go down the list and everybody talk about how much you've spent, what your armor costs to get going. Everybody up for that?
So I've probably spent about $5,000 at this point too, given the weapons and everything. Most of this is my original armor from 4.5 years ago though. Almost every piece. I've just adjusted it like crazy.
So we'll start with the bad intention fountain.
Oh, let's see. My first suit of armor cost me about, I believe, $2,500. That was back in 2019. That was a heavy steel monster that I quickly swapped out for titanium fast as I could. Probably about 5,000 to this new suit of titanium. Oh, and if you do plan on doing tournaments, you're going to want to go invest in everything that those airlines give you. Get yourself those little known traveler numbers that TSA sells off. You get yourself those cards that says, frequent flyer miles, get all those things. You don't want to try and check 100 pounds of armor in, using just regular airmail.
Sage advice, sage advice.
So my kit, when I actually have it all the way on, I look wildly different from these guys. I have an Eastern kit, Mongolian kit, which is why my helmet looks way different, because I want to be different from these guys. My kit, helmet included, was about $4,000 when I first started. It's a lot more expensive now.
So I have a mix between steel and titanium. I've mixed the two because it's a cheaper alternative than to go with all titanium. And some of these I've got off of other buddies I fight with. And that is sometimes commonplace in the sport for us to buy gear off of each other. Sometimes you have a guy who doesn't want steel legs to be wearing something too. So it's all commonplace for us to buy off of each other. So in total, I'm probably at about $3,000 for all my gear.
Well, no one mentioned yet, a lot of our armor comes from Ukraine, so it's not like we can't just go like Walmart or something to pick it up. So when you want to do it, you got to wait. I ordered my kit from Ukraine about 3.5 years ago, and it was $2,500 for a complete kit. Now I waited 6 to 7 months and got it, and now you know they're in a war, and they're still doing their best to make us stuff. But now, after replacing some armor and buying new weapons, I'm probably about $3,500 into it.
So, my first kit, I managed to put it together as soon as I bought this first helmet and a lot of the same stuff I'm wearing right now. I managed to put together a starter kit within 3 months for about $800. From there, I ended up putting $2,500 into a kit from this guy, Iron Needle Armory, that came in, and all in all, I think I've spent probably about $3,800, maybe $4,000 at this point on putting it all together.
I got insanely lucky. I met a guy in the sport as soon as I entered that all his armor fit me. I started out with a loaner kit, and then it turned into $1,600, and I still wear that kit today, and it's all been downhill from there.
I'm kind of in the same boat with Michael. I'm about 1,800 in, but I don't have the full kit yet, so I'm still piecemealing as I go.
My original kit when I first bought everything was just under 3,000. It's all spring steel, top to bottom. With my upgrades and new weapons, I'm sitting at about 4,200 right now for everything that I have.
One thing, we're talking about how expensive it is, and but just to let you know, there are organizations out there that we have loaner kits. SJK is one of them. We also have the regulators in Conroe. So if you are interested in this sport, speak to one of us. We'll get you involved and get you in a kit and try it out. Personally, for me, I'm very new to this sport. I waited about just over 6 to 6.5 months to get my full kit. But when I was, before I even got it, I got to use Brent's kit, this gentleman over here. So you don't have to have a kit to get started.
And after about 4.5 years, I'm sitting around 3,500 in.
We had another question before that we'll get to you in just a second. Was if a knight loses a weapon, and I suppose this is in a combat tournament, is he allowed to get another weapon? That I believe depends upon the marshal's judgment.
So by the league rules, if you lose your weapon, you have to stop fighting and run back to your team to get a replacement. You can't pick yours back up off the ground, and you can't continue fighting. All you can do is kind of protect yourself while trying to get away, and that's not a good position to be in. But those are your options. Unless you are carrying a secondary weapon on your belt, you are allowed to try and draw that out. What we do here for full steel combat, to simplify it, is in the team fights, if you lose your weapon, we have you just take it. But in the duels, we give you, 3 strikes and you're out. We'll let you pick it up 2 times. That 3rd time you lose it, we're going to say you lost, just because we can't just let you keep picking it up over and over again.
Very welcome. If you have any questions, let us know. I'll try and get it answered.
There's a question. Are there weight classes in between the knights?
Everybody gets to fight, Sir Gregor. For tournaments, there are weight classes in pro fights. But as far as I know, in terms of duels or anything else, no. And in melees, no. But each person serves a specific purpose. Just like on a basketball team or a football team, there's different positions and different ways you play the position you're standing in for like a 5 versus 5 team or 12 versus 12 versus 10 versus 10. So your size doesn't mean you're just kind of knocked out just because there's a lot of bigger guys. But the only one I know for sure with weight categories is pro fights.
Yes, and the pro fights include the World Championship, which was held in Mexico rather recently. And the team from the United States took 10 gold medals. more gold medals than any other team from any other country. US of A. That Sir Gregor was a member of that team. He just got back from Mexico with gold. Any other questions? Yes, there was the one in the green. Any other questions from the crowd? Raise your hand if you have a question. If you have an answer, we're taking those too. What is your favorite weapon?
Okay, weapons are something we haven't touched on too much. We all fight with our preferences. I prefer a punch shield in one hand and a one-handed weapon in the other, like a falchion or a mace. The reason I prefer the punch shield is not what you would expect. You know, on TV, when you see someone with a shield, it's for defense. In our sport, a shield is actually a weapon. That's why it's called a punch shield. He's going to feel me hitting with the shield a lot more than he's going to feel me hitting with that one-handed weapon. So I'm more comfortable that way. You can almost box with it, which is a little bit, comes more naturally to most people than swinging a two-handed sword or an axe.
And what is your favorite?
This axe. I do fight with a punch shield and a sword or mace. I fight with a long sword. I really like that, but this is what I'm best with right here.
And the knights in the back here, what are your favorite weapons?
I go with a light punch shield and a pole arm at the same time because I can do that. And then I carry a couple of maces for backup in case, well, I just need to start punching people.
Yeah, Sir Gregor has been known in tournaments to attach smaller knights to his belt, and when into tight times, he throws them at the opponents.
You can also eat them when I get hungry.
Yes, and he eats them when he gets hungry.
How do you think I got so big?
I'm a two-handed axe man myself, like Grant's right there. It's just way better. It's versatile. You can get in nice and close and do certain techniques or hit them from really far away. Do big overhead swings and really, really make them feel that you're there. Just deliver that love, but from a distance. Sword and punch shield because I like getting in close. I prefer using the two-handed axe like Grant and Alex here, but I also keep a falchion on my side when I do these events. In the instance that I lose my axe, I like to have the one-handed sword so I can still try to grapple and have that other hand free.
I enjoy the 4-foot two-handed axe as well, but a punch shield and a mace is quite a bit of fun as well. It's always fun hitting people. It's never not fun. So
this is also a 4-foot two-handed axe. This one's actually got a hickory handle from Purple Heart and Conroe, and I built this axe to be max weight. The max weight on an axe is 3,000 grams, which is 6 pounds. So this is a 6-pounded axe, and when I get a good shot, people definitely feel it.
I like to use one punch shield because they won't let me use two.
I use a two-handed grand falchion. It gives me a little more reach, and it's weighted at the end, so I can swing it just a little bit harder than I normally would.
I like using a punch shield and a mace or a falchion.
I'm a fighter who multi-leveled into monk, who also took the martial proficiency. So give me anything that goes monk, I'm fine with it.
I have too many favorite weapons to list at this point. We're doing another demonstration.
We'll do a demonstration with two-handed weapons.
Lords and ladies, we would like to do a demonstration with two-handed weapons. Would you care to see it? I think they want to see you get hurt. Grant is taking his sweet time, but he is getting to it. Knights, so we met. Face your opponent. Salute. En garde und lay on. Two cheers for Sir Joshua. And now we can cheer the holiday hit. Oh, last one. Keep your clothes on, Sir Joshua. The crowd likes you, but not that much. Once again, Sir Grant. 3 cheers for Sir Grant. Hip, hip! Hip, hip! Hip, hip! Lords and ladies, unless there are any other questions, this will be the end of the panel, but we invite you at 3 o'clock and 5 o'clock for a full steel combat, full tournament. Would you care to see that? Okay, I said would you care to see it? I can't hear you. We are in need of a drunken, bloodthirsty mob to support this tournament. Can we depend upon all of you? Some of you look halfway there even now. But thank you for coming today.